Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thank you very much for watching that earwax removal compilation video today. I hope you're all keeping well. Hope you're keeping each other and yourselves safe out there at the moment as well. We have two patients in this compilation. They both came through to our clinic this morning. Very, very different types of earwax in both patients as well, which you'll see when the video comes up now in a second. So without further ado, let's pop this on so I can see what I'm doing, and then we'll pop this up for you as well. Okay, so this is the first patient in our compilation. This lovely gent, basically started to experience a little bit of hearing issue and fullness in the ear during lockdown. Has been using a few home remedies to try and shift this along, but you can see it's actually softened the front end of the wax here. So this is the standard size ulnar tube. Holding onto that front section, and because it's so soft, it's actually peeled away from the rear section and broken away there, so we can get that out. And we'll just take a little look behind here as well. So you can see we've got this very soft, almost a sticky type of wax really. You tend to find the wax will become this sort of texture here when people use home remedies. So a lot of the remedies out there soften and try and break down the fats inside the wax so it loosens it. But you can see it's just sort of softened it up quite a bit there. We're getting these nice big chunks coming away. So we're just trying to hold on to the bottom section there. You can see a little bit of underlying dry skin. That's what that is there, just peeling away. You can actually see where the skin is still attached as well. If I just, oh, can I pause this? Yeah. So what you'll see here is at the back, I'm pointing at the screen, you can't see the screen. At the back end of the wax there, you'll just see a very thin membrane that's just attached to the side of the canal wall. That's a little bit of dry skin there that started to come away. So that's what's been holding the back end of this wax in. You'll see it there a little bit more prominently. Can you see that thin layer there? So we'll just peel that away. There you go. And take a look behind that. Now what you can see here is you can see a little pronounced bump there on the right hand canal wall. I did ask the patient, do they do any swimming, because that's quite common with sort of swimmer's ear. But he said he didn't do any. So some people do have these sort of little pronounced lumps and bumps in their canals as well. This is the same patient but the second ear now. You can see a much drier type of wax. Now the patient that experienced the issues on the other side hadn't really noticed any problems with this side, so assumed it was okay. But you can see the difference then in the wax with the treated and untreated wax there. Much drier, harder pieces. You can see that's just kind of sheared off the front end of the wax rather than that kind of peeling and breaking away that we did last time. So getting a good grip on this now with the suction tube, wiggling it up and down just to try and work this out. There you go. You can see it stay together in one whole piece there, that front section. A lot more sort of mushy, wetter wax behind here. So we're just going to try and get a grip on this rear, this deep section there. We've got this little bit at the front end of the canal. So we're just going to work this up. There's a little bit of wax just getting in the view there. So that's actually skin. So we'll peel this away. There we go, it's broken out of the way. When you're trying to peel skin away, sometimes it's easier. Sorry, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat today. Sometimes it's a bit easier if instead of going into it forwards and lifting and trying to peel all the way down the canal, if you drop in behind it and then bring the suction tube back over the wax like that, it tends to shear it off at source and you don't get this long pull down the canal. Don't forget, if you pull a lot like that, especially when you're working close to the canal walls, you do run the risk of a little bit of bleeding in there. So we're just getting a good grip on this soft wax at the base section of the canal, sort of deeper now down towards the eardrum. You can see it's really wedged in here. It doesn't want to come out very easily. Just trying to get a grip. I'm trying to roll it downwards. I've tried lifting it from the base. It didn't really budge, so I'm trying to roll it now down from the top. There we go. Can you see it starting to kind of pull down the canal now? It's starting to come away from those canal walls a little bit more effectively. There you go. Now we've got it. So we've got this big piece now that's come down the canal. You can see it's quite soft on the edges. A little bit there at the entrance, which will just sort of quickly clean away. Okay, now I do have this little piece a bit further in. So we'll just get rid of a couple of these pieces. And there we go. You can see we've got this little bit a bit further in there. So we'll just go and grab that now. Just to give you a bit of background at the moment, obviously here in the UK, practitioners are back open, but we have to adhere to very kind of strict guidance to keep both us and our patients safe. which states now that we have to minimize the amount of contact the amount of time we spend within 2 meter contact of a patient. So it's for essential and urgent care at the moment. So you may see me leaving little tiny bits behind, but that's because we have to do as much as we can in as short a period as we possibly can. So this is the wax that's come away. You can see we've got these kind of harder, darker pieces there, and the lighter sections as well. So we've got, I forgot to look at it, about an inch. I think that was 1.75 inches of wax coming away there. So this is our second patient in the compilation now. This patient's come through, oh my goodness, with really, really painful ears, bless them. Lovely, lovely lady in a lot of discomfort with her ears, lots of referred pain into the ear canal, down into the back of the neck here as well. So really, really uncomfortable. And what you can see here is that we've got this sort of soft layer at the front, but this patient has been using some olive oil to try and soften this up a little bit. But what you can see when you get a grip on there is as you move this piece, it's all moving in one piece, and it's not really getting a really good grip. Now that indicates to me that it's a hard piece of wax in here, and the fact that as soon as I moved this, the patient sort of just moved slightly and said they felt uncomfortable. So it's obviously sitting right on top of a tender piece of the ear canal. I'm really trying my best to move it. I can't wiggle it too much, but we've got a nice big gap there. So this is a perfect job for the St. Bart's hook. We've got hard wax. We've got a good gap at the top, so it's the perfect time to bring this out. So we're going above the wax, just getting behind it and then pulling forwards. And it goes in quite a way. So it was difficult to get the St. Bart's hook. Don't forget, the St. Bart's hook's got this kind of L shape to it. So as you you go in sort of flat and then tilt that way behind it and pull the wax out this way. But it was such a long piece, I couldn't quite get behind it. So I had to sort of roll it forwards and then get the St. Bart's hook in. You can see as this is coming out, it's dry at the back end, or really, really dry. You can see just how solid this piece of wax is. So basically what had happened is that wax had formed to the shape of the canal. Well, with jaw movement and things like that, what you're going to get then is a little bit of flexion in the canal, which is going to be pressing against it. Patient was quite uncomfortable after removing that, so obviously it looked quite tender in here. So I left that last little piece in. That will migrate out no problem at all. We've got similar issue on this side. Okay, so we've just got the St. Bart's hook in here. St. Bart's hook, goodness me, the Zollner tube in here again. Just trying to lift this up again. I'm giving you spoilers now because you know what's coming. So basically, just trying to move it. You can see it was quite solid. So there's the St. Bart's hook now going in, and perfect for this one as well. This was more of a ball shape. The other one was more elongated and sort of sitting at the base of the canal. This was more of a round ball, which was actually wider at the back end. So what we found is as we rolled this forward with the St. Bart's hook, the rear end flicked up and it actually blocked up the canal. You couldn't see past it. So just trying to maneuver this. We could have actually brought a Jobson horn out here and tried to get behind it, which may have been a little bit more effective than the St. Bart's hook while it's at the entrance here, but we had the hook in there anyway, so we dropped this out. And there you go, you can see the eardrum there, a little bit of pinkness and aggravation to the base of the canal. Okay, so these are the two pieces. Obviously, the reason I didn't show you this lifted up on the St. Bart's hook, I'll explain that now in a second. But you can see it's almost got skin layers in there, especially the left-hand piece there. It almost looks like there's lots of little skin layers in there all bound together. This is how hard this was. I'm pushing as hard as I can. I'm just trying to get a better view to show you. As hard as I can on top of these pieces with the St. Bart's hook. Watch now as I try and push in this. See how that just flicked? That's how hard these pieces are. So they are solid. They're like almost like little pebbles. When I tried to get this out of the patient's ear, when it fell into the ball of the ear, it was difficult to get it out. You'll see in a second, it splits kind of in two, but the integrity of it, I'm bending that St. Bart's hook to try and press into it, and it's not even getting anywhere near. So a really, really dry, hard type wax. This is the type of wax that gives people a lot of discomfort. You can get it, especially, oh sorry, it's flipped back to me. Especially if you've got wax very deep in the canal, then that can cause quite a bit of discomfort. But if you've got this much harder type of wax, it's formed to the shape of the canal. When you're laying on that ear, when you're chewing, it gives you a lot of discomfort and referred pain. So most people express the pain coming sort of, not so much, you can get it in the ear, but more commonly described into the jawline here, or down into the neck here. That tends to be the two most common places that people experience their discomfort. But yeah, two very, very different types of earwax come through the clinic today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and you don't mind subscribing, that would be lovely. If you like the video as well, give us a thumbs up. That would be absolutely fantastic. And if you want to see more of our videos, when you click the subscribe button, don't forget to hit the little bell by the side of it and click all. That way that you get notified every single time we do a video. Okay, that's the YouTube spiel done. I really hope you enjoy it. I hope you keep yourselves nice and safe. I shall see you again on Friday for another video. All the best. Take care.